Grok Imagine excels at short, emotionally grounded, and cinematic clips, especially when it comes to natural face expressions and human emotions, voice narration and adherence to a script, realistic physical interactions, and motivated cinematic camera movement. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use the Venice platform and Grok Imagine to generate an entire video clip with sound, with cuts, and a lot of heavy emotion, all in one place. We are going to explore the best practices for prompting to get the most out of your Grok Imagine video generations. The Venice platform has a variety of different text, image, video, audio models, all to help you play with creating your finest masterpieces. Not to mention that Venice does not log any of your prompts, and even with Grok Imagine, your videos stay completely private. So that is a cool perk. Now, we are going to use the Venice Agent to help us create our prompts first and foremost. It's a bit inefficient to craft the entire prompt by ourselves, but with a good enough idea, we can have an agent with the detail required to get the generation we want. So here in the agentic interface on Venice, I can actually choose which model to use, and I'm going to use Grok 4.3. This is private. It is going to use some credits. If you don't want to use credits, you can just use the standard Kimi K2.5, but today we're just going to use Grok models. So for example, I'll start the prompt by just saying, hey, help me generate a video generation prompt following this format. And this is what's key for Grok Imagine. You want to include subject, action, and environment, camera angle and composition, visual aesthetic, lighting and atmosphere, and details and quality. Our main character is Eliza, and in this video, she just found out her mother is in the hospital. This is an emotional reveal. So I'm just giving a bit of examples of what I want to see in the video. And what else I can do, which is cool, is attach a photo of my character. So I've attached a photo here. This is an AI generated photo, by the way. If you don't have one, no problem. We can also say, also generate a reference image of Eliza. She has curly red hair, Caucasian, tall. So we'll shoot this off. So we can see here the first step, the agent is generating a photo of Eliza. Tall, Caucasian, curly red hair, exactly what we wanted. And here is our prompt. Very detailed, as we can see. Now, we have multiple ways we can go about this for now, and what way you choose is going to be dependent on what you're working on. So if you're just doing a one-shot prompt and you don't need to use her again, for example, I can just say now, generate the video using Grok Imagine. And the agent is going to help us do that. So here we see it's going to cost us 89 credits, 89 cents. This is a 10-second generation. We can say do 5 seconds instead. 44 credits. And now we just confirm that we want to generate it, and we'll get that video right here in our chat. Here it is.
Eliza, it's about your mother. She's been hospitalized.
Oh, no. Mom!
A little rushed, maybe 10 seconds would have been better, but a beautiful shot all in all. Now you'll also notice that with this method, there's some black space. It's not fully widescreen. So there's two things we can do about that before I show you the other method. And that is make sure the video is fully widescreen, recreate our reference image. Now we can see it made a widescreen image for us. And now Grok Imagine will generate it widescreen. Some video models will automatically make it widescreen if you use Google Veo 3.1, for example, but Grok Imagine will not. It will keep it in the dimensions of the original image you give it.
Eliza, it's about Mom. She's in the hospital.
What? Is she okay?
She's stable, but it's serious.
Okay, so we need to work on this prompt
Eliza,
a
it's
little
about
bit.
Mom. She's in the
In which case, we'll say fix the prompt because she is lip syncing the person on the phone. Make sure she stays quiet. Also, let's make this 10 seconds so there is space to breathe. This is just the general nature of generating videos with AI. You're very rarely going to get exactly what you want on the first try. You can see how when we do 10 seconds, it's going to cost twice as much, but I think that's going to be more effective for the emotion we want our character to express in this shot. This is much better. I'm glad we don't hear the other person. Emotional, I mean, come on. This is beautiful. I mean, I'm not happy that her mother's in the hospital, but this is just, look how realistic this is, that emotion. This is what Grok Imagine really excels at. So let's take this to the next level, shall we? We have a reference image of Eliza here, and let's create a scene. So we're going to generate the actual scene in the Venice Studio. Over here in the studio, we have different tabs to generate images, to edit images, to generate audio, music, voice, sound effects, to generate videos. We can actually make a whole queue of videos generating, so we can set it and forget it, so to speak. And then we can use the movie editor after to stitch them together. So let me delete this old video here. We don't need it. And here we're going to see we have Grok Imagine R2V private selected. Now, if we search for Grok, we're going to see there are various versions of Grok. We have T2V, text to video, image to video, and video to video, which is where we can edit and transform videos. But what we want to focus on now is R2V. Now, what we used in the agentic chat here, this was image to video, I2V. It took the image and then it just made a video from it. The starting frame was literally this, right? She's standing there. The starting frame is basically that. But what we want to do here is put her in another scene, for example. So I can click this add button or this plus and add from assets, and I can find that photo of Eliza here. And here we go. Now we have her as a reference. So what we can do here in the studio is tag image 1, which is Eliza, cries on the phone. But we don't want to have her in that room, and we want to have a more detailed prompt. So there's two things we're going to do here. We're going to come back here and we're going to say, remove the background of the Eliza reference image and give me prompts for telling the story of Eliza then driving in her car to the hospital, pensive and reflective, getting to the hospital and asking where her mom is, arriving in the hospital room, sitting next to her mother, slow motion, all extremely dramatic. And there's one last thing I'm going to say is no music, only sound effects. We will add a soundtrack later using the Venice Studio. So we're going to do three things in one here, and the agent can do this for us. Remove the background of our image so we can put her in different places cleanly, and then get a whole list of prompts to create the full video. In fact, I'll be a little more specific. Give me prompts for 10-second video generations for telling the story, blah, blah, blah. So now our agent, powered by Grok, completely privately, is going to set up everything we need to now create the full video in the Venice Studio. Great. So now we have her cut out, just a simple background. And here are our 10-second video prompts using that reference image. And we have all the same details: the character in action, the camera movement, the visual aesthetic, sound, etc. So now back in the studio, we've got Grok Imagine R2V selected. We can click the plus, add from assets. We find our plain gray background image, and we can just copy one prompt at a time. And then we just need to change her name to image 1. We want to make sure these are all 10 seconds. I'm going to use 720p. That said, if you're exploring a style, 480p is very helpful for saving money while you really get your prompt figured out and perfect. For now, we're just going to use 720 and hope for the best. So I'll shoot that one off and you'll see it queues up over here. And now I'll get the next prompt ready. I'll copy that. I'll paste it in. I'll tag the reference image, shoot that off. It's queuing up. Now we'll go to prompt 3 and you get it. This is our process here. We got the extreme slow motion here. This will be really fun at the end. And you'll also notice as I shoot all these off, it keeps these settings the same. One of the videos is done, and now we have everything queued up. I'm going to clear this over here, and we'll come back to that in case we need to regenerate anything. So this was our first prompt, which we already did earlier, but now she's against the gray background, I guess, which is actually probably a bit more dramatic. The whole world stopped when she found out. Didn't even matter where she was. Next, she's driving to the hospital. Got a little weird, she's not actually in the vehicle there. So we're going to have to regenerate that one. But I like the emotion, everything else, that looks good. And I like the slow push in. So let's reload the original draft and that will send this back over here. And if there's anything in the prompt we think that could help fix that, I think that was just kind of a glitch. So let's shoot that off again and hope for the best. Next, we got the shot of her rushing into the hospital. Transition there. It's a whole montage. Little bit cheesy, but overall it's good. It's fine. And once again, just look how realistic and detailed everything is. And then she busts through the room. We need to redo this one because there needs to be like a hospital corridor behind her. So we'll reload that draft. Burst through the hospital room door and freezes. Behind her is the bright hospital corridor. We'll send that off. And then we got this one where she sits down next to her mother. Tears pouring down her face. Okay. So the next thing, those are going to finish generating and we're going to polish those up. But then let's have the agent now create an audio generation prompt for the soundtrack. It should have time codes that sync up with the video generations for its climax. It should be orchestral, but soft with some electronic beats to it. And once again, we can mess around with this as much as we want, but we'll start with that prompt. And as the final video is generating, this one looks good, by the way, we'll head over here to audio and we will paste that prompt. And you see here, it's very detailed. We have a breakdown of the times and how the whole song is going to go. We can choose a model here. I'm going to choose Lyria 3 Pro. This is brand new by Google. We can see over here how many credits it's going to cost us. We can choose a genre. I'm going to choose instrumental. And we'll shoot that off with Lyria 3 Pro, but then let's also do it with 11 Labs. This is quite a bit more expensive, almost 9 times the price. We're going to force instrumental in the settings. Let's choose electronic here. And then we choose the time here as well. So 50 seconds is what we need. I'm going to give it a minute basically, so it has time to kind of like die out. And I'll shoot that off as well. So now we'll have some options to choose from when we stitch it all together. Now, as with most things we do with AI, we multitask, we go back and forth. So I'll head over back to the video tab. Now it looks like she's just parked on the side of the road instead of driving. I think we can get away with that, at least for this demo. And then we got that last, okay. Now we see the actual hospital behind her. And look, it's still totally syncing to her reference image. We've got some soft breathing. And I would say we should probably just add one final shot that like fades out. Something that fits the story beat. And Grok just already knew. Look how fast that was. I'm not going to add any more music because I think it'll be okay. So I'll copy that prompt and we'll put this one in, change the reference. Now we need to be clever here. Look, color. So I think we can act like right here, she bursts in and then the mother's on the other side of the room, right? And that's why the color and everything is different. It's dark and there's just a window. We can maybe get away with that. But at the end here, we're going to need this image so we don't get a random new room with a random new mother. We don't have references for that. So I'm simply going to take a screenshot of this and I'm going to cut out this stuff. It can be like more of a close-up. And this is a little bit of a tacky way of doing it, but it will give us what we want. So I'm going to now switch to Grok Imagine image to video. So now we don't have the reference image. We just have a starting frame. So I'll upload that screenshot I took. And now we say Eliza, because we don't need to tag the image here. It's literally just going to start at this image. Once again, no music, dramatic lighting, and we'll shoot that off. So we have an ending shot. Meanwhile, multitaskers unite. Over here, the Lyria 3 Pro song. Let's give this a quick listen. I'll skip ahead a little bit to maybe the climax. Really good. It's almost a little like relieving, which I'm not sure is what we're going for. Let's listen to 11 Labs. I like that electronic feel. We'll skip ahead. Yeah, honestly, I think that one is probably more in line, but once again, 9 times the price. This one was still really good by Lyria 3. So let's not sleep on that well-priced model. We're still waiting on the final generation. And here it is. See, that screenshot just did great. Now, if those are tears falling, that's a little bit, it's a little cheesy for me. But okay. We get the fade out. Beautiful. So we have everything we need now. Is it perfect? Maybe not. But by this point, you know how you can go in and fix your shots. So let's go into the movie editor tab now. And this is where we'll wrap it all up, put a bow on it, and export it to ship it. So here we see we have all the shots here. And this is where we started. So I just click it and it sends it down there. I'm going to zoom out a little bit so we have more space. And then I'm just going to put each shot. Now the car shot was weird, so we have to use the second generation. Then we had the running into the hospital. And I just realized something's wrong with the car shot and every shot because that's nighttime. So we need to go back and regenerate that shot so it's not nighttime. We find this shot, we reload the draft, and we say, do you say right at night? No. On a cloudy day, on a sad highway. So we'll get that fixed. We'll let that generate. We'll come back to replace this in just a moment. Then we got the running through the hospital, opening the door, sitting down next to her mother, crying, and the fade out. Now we'll replace this in just a moment, but as we wait, because we can multitask, we'll find our audio and let's find our song. Yeah, this is the one. We'll put that audio track below it. And it's perfect because the song fades out when the video fades out. So that final video should be about done. Okay, we got it. She's driving this time. It's sad. She's pensive. It's mysterious. She obviously loved her mother. Great, so let's plug that in. So I'll take that, I'll put it there, right over. Let's delete that one, put it inside. And now the last thing I'm going to do is just lower the music just a little bit. So I select the audio track and it's got the audio selected. I'll just move it to like 64. So it's not too intense because we also got good sound effects in these video generations. Grok just really knocked it out of the park. So we want to make sure we can hear those. So here we go. Let's watch it. Not sure about those tears. But all right, so now I'll just move the audio a little bit more so it's closer to fade out with the video fade out. Maybe even like that. Yeah, I like that. The last thing I would do is just this shot. It's a good shot, but it needs more time and we get a sound interrupted there. So before she moves, I can either regenerate this or before she moves her hand, I'm just going to cut it there. And let's see how that looks. And then we also need to do something about this audio, because it's just that rain is just so loud. We click audio and we click detach audio. And then here, when I click this audio track now, I can have it fade in. I think that's going to be helpful. And I'll lower the volume, and I'll also have it fade out. Now we don't have that sound cut. I like that more, yeah. Okay, so now we just have to close the gaps. And we're done. So what do we do now? Well, we've already chosen YouTube as our aspect ratio. So this is 16:9. We can share it on the Venice social feed, which you're recommended to do. But we want to, for example, post it on social media, on X. So we'll click export here, and it will render and give us a nice MP4 file that we can download and share. So that's Grok Imagine. Super realistic, great sound effects, great camera work, and all private when you generate on Venice. So happy creating. Subscribe to the Venice YouTube channel for more tutorials on AI video generation. And if you have questions or you want to share your work, we'll see you in the Venice Discord.